What if the very thing you crave most isn't you craving it at all? What if your brain has been hijacked chemically, electrically, and emotionally by molecules designed to control you? From heroin to cocaine, from alcohol to sugar, addiction wears many faces. But behind every craving lies the same biological story, a story written in dopamine, etched into our neurons, and sealed by habit. Today, we uncover the science of addiction, how it takes hold, why it's so hard to escape, and why something as innocent as sugar might be one of the most dangerous addictions of all. Before we get too deep into this topic, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This will help bring the truth about health and healing to the thousands of people who need to hear this message. Now back to the episode. Addiction isn't about weakness, it's about biochemistry. When someone becomes addicted to a substance, and whether it's heroin, cocaine, alcohol, or sugar, it rewires the brain's reward circuitry. Deep within the midbrain, the ventral tegmental area, VTA, releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter of motivation and reward. That dopamine travels to the nucleus accumbens, the pleasure center, lighting up neural pathways that scream, "Do that again." At first, the feeling is euphoric, a rush of chemical pleasure. But over time, the brain adapts. It produces less dopamine naturally, and dopamine receptors become desensitized. The result? The person no longer feels normal without the substance. They aren't chasing pleasure anymore, they're running from pain. Heroin, a derivative of morphine, floods the brain with endorphins, the body's natural painkillers. These endorphins bind to mu-opioid receptors, silencing pain, slowing respiration, and creating an overwhelming sense of warmth and safety. But the brain quickly adjusts, receptors downregulate, the body stops producing its own endorphins. When heroin leaves the system, withdrawal begins, anxiety, vomiting, muscle pain, panic, a biological scream for relief. Heroin addiction isn't just psychological, it's molecular dependency. Every neuron has been trained to function with the drug and malfunctions without it. Cocaine works differently, but its grip is just as fierce. It doesn't mimic natural neurotransmitters, it traps them. Cocaine blocks the dopamine transporter, preventing dopamine from being reabsorbed. The result is an extended flood of euphoria and power, but it comes at a cost. After repeated use, dopamine receptors are depleted. The brain's reward system collapses into a barren wasteland, leaving behind depression, anxiety, and the unrelenting craving for more. That's why quitting cocaine feels like living without sunlight. The brain has forgotten how to feel joy. Alcohol, perhaps the most normalized addiction on earth, acts as both a stimulant and depressant. Initially, it increases GABA, the inhibitory neurotransmitter that calms the nervous system, and dopamine, producing relaxation and sociability. But chronic use shrinks brain volume, damages the prefrontal cortex, the center of judgment, and destroys the liver's ability to process toxins. Alcohol withdrawal can even be fatal, causing tremors, seizures, and delirium. Yet society celebrates it. We toast with it. We cope with it. We make it a ritual, disguising chemical dependence as culture. Now, sugar, it doesn't require a prescription. It doesn't come with a warning label, yet it activates the same reward centers as heroin and cocaine, often more strongly. When sugar hits the tongue, it triggers a surge of dopamine and opioid peptides in the brain. With every bite, we reinforce neural circuits of reward, teaching the brain to seek sweetness for comfort, stress, and fatigue. The average modern diet floods the system with sugar, from breakfast cereals to condiments, from coffee creamers to bread, and just like with narcotics, tolerance builds. You need more to feel the same pleasure. Then come the crashes, fatigue, irritability, anxiety, withdrawal in disguise. In controlled studies, rats given the choice between sugar and cocaine often chose sugar. That's not hyperbole, that's neurochemistry. Sugar produces longer-lasting dopamine activity in the nucleus accumbens than cocaine, especially during withdrawal. And while cocaine users may recognize their addiction, sugar addiction hides in plain sight. The biochemical footprint is nearly identical. Dopamine release followed by depletion, receptor desensitization, cravings triggered by stress or cues, withdrawal symptoms when abstaining, and like heroin or alcohol, quitting sugar often leads to irritability, headaches, depression, and intense cravings. The difference? Society calls it normal. The challenge isn't willpower, it's neuroplasticity. The addicted brain rewires itself to expect the reward. Each cue, a bar, a bakery, a memory, triggers a cascade through the amygdala, hippocampus, and nucleus accumbens, igniting anticipation before the substance even arrives. That's why even after detox, relapse rates are high. The brain's pathways of pleasure remain carved deep into the neural landscape. Breaking addiction means retraining the brain, slowly rebuilding dopamine balance through nutrition, sleep, sunlight, exercise, and meditation. But it takes time, months, sometimes years, for homeostasis to return. Addiction doesn't just steal health, it steals identity. Whether the molecule is cocaine, alcohol, heroin, or sugar, the outcome is the same: disconnection. The person you once were fades beneath the chemical noise, the laughter, the curiosity, the spark of life, replaced by cycles of craving and regret. The science of addiction reveals something terrifying, that even the smartest brain can be tricked, rewired, and enslaved by chemistry. But knowing the science is the first step to breaking free. Because once you understand how addiction manipulates the brain, you can begin to reclaim it, one conscious choice at a time. This isn't just a story about drugs, it's a story about humanity, about our endless search for comfort, connection, and control, and the danger of finding it in a molecule. If you found this information helpful, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment as to how addiction may be controlling your life. For more information about our clinic, please go to drvictoriamunoz.com or see link in description below. We have helped thousands of people regain their health and vitality, and we can help you. I am Dr. Victoria Munoz. Until next time, take care.